right now.
All right. Welcome to a spooky episode 10 of Dark Dungeon of Pop Culture, the Jabbas Dungeon podcast. Today we are with Spider-Man and our boy Dick and Avery and Nacho. Boys, this costume won me a costume contest at my sister's baby shower.
Hey,
I'm
Nacho, man.
I'm still riding the high of winning a Bath and Body Works candle, so it's been a really good past couple of days for me. Well, today we are talking a couple different topics, and it is the final episode for October. So it was like this month is just like gone by super quick. I was telling you all before it started. Definitely felt like I hadn't watched enough horror movies this month.
Peter, what are you doing?
Peter, your cam's still on. No.
Can't breathe out of it. There's no mouth hole, no nose hole.
Suffocates on screen.
That's why I got the straw, because my mouth hole is just like perfect.
Yeah, it is.
I want a Nacho Libre too.
Yeah, I felt like I don't even know how many horror movies I've watched this month, but it definitely hasn't been enough. I was talking about wanting to watch a lot of the Halloweens. I fucking didn't even do that. I suck.
Still got one more day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ball out. All right, so most of us were able to watch the Penguin. I feel like this episode, though, I was telling Chad, I feel like it wasn't like an episode where much in the way of like the story was kind of. It was just like some bigger elements altogether that were kind of pushing it forward. Like it wasn't anything that was super plot driven. It was just kind of elements that were setting it up for the last couple episodes we're gonna get. So I did write a few notes on that one. So we open on Oz kind of setting up his business some more. He's got the people of Crown Point. He's got a few of the people that have been dispersed throughout there working for him. And not only are they going to give more initiative to work just because they've been out of work, but he's actually paying them and giving them a means of income. And, despite it not being a really good, morally source of income, it's kind of nice. I mean, because he's always portraying the underdog in the story, from where he's at as far as crime status, but he is also kind of fighting for the little man in terms of Gotham itself, because Crown Point, as we've talked about in past episodes, is just ground zero still in a sense for the flooding that took place in the Batman. So I think it's pretty interesting that he has got the people of Crown Point working for him, and not only just because they would give more initiative because they don't have any means of income, but he can take advantage of where they're at economically. So I thought that was kind of neat. Then Vic, he runs into Squid, as we talked about, old Squiddy, and he was being a real big cunt, and and you could just tell, this was some shenanigans were going to lead on to this. So stay tuned for that. we get Sophia and Mr. Krabs. They're bonding and talking shit out. And we come to learn that Sophia and Maroni are under the impression that Oz's mother is dead. They have no idea that she is still alive. He has apparently done a really good job of keeping anything to do with his family, which it really just comes down to his mother, but at a very, arm's reach.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately, whenever they had mentioned that his mother is dead, kind of gave you that sense of, well, he has some security, but for how long? So I thought that was a pretty crazy development.
I'm still wanting to see, because they keep saying, oh, his brother's dead. Maybe if somehow they also survived and, maybe they come back eventually or something, since everyone assumes they're dead, but...
Yeah, because even Sophia had said whenever they broke into Oz's apartment, uh, Maroni saw one of the pictures that he had up, and she had stated that they had died young. And it's still relatively mysterious. We got a couple episodes ago that the city took them, and now just, them talking that they died young, but have never really got into super specifics about it, so it does lead the mind to wander. And then you get a really, really sad scene. It was really well acted, and it showed, I felt like, just that level of humanity that we tend to get every episode out of Oz, where he comes to find his mother in a bad way, and they're kind of talking, and she's commenting on how her mental state is dwindling at a rapid rate. And she says, she doesn't want to be one of those people that are in a home and, they're just left to their, never ending sickness until they die. She said, that she wants Oz to help kill her whenever, it gets to that point. And you could tell that, obviously he's not going to want to do that. But again, she goes back into what you can tell hits with him, which is that, you gotta be strong. You can't be a pussy. You gotta do this. You gotta do this for me. And that goes again back into that toxicity that he was brought up in, where it's all about strutting the stuff. And it was a really, really, really wild scene. And then it led into, I didn't write this down, but just remembering it's a good scene. Whenever Oz is talking, he eavesdrops on one of the like the power, it was like the like some of the higher ups of Gotham, and threatens one of the dudes to turn on the power in Crown Point, and he had a pair of pliers up in the dude's nose and was just like fucking gripping the shit out of this dude's nostrils. That was pretty fucking wild. That was real good.
My favorite scene of the episode was just that whole interaction.
Because after he got done, he fucking took his tie and like started wiping his nose. He was like, all right, it's just your nose. It's just your nose.
And then he was trying to like pull out the car, and Oz was like trying to like direct him, like, you got enough room, like, come on.
It's like, you got more room than it looks. And then you get and back to whenever Squid was like kind of like pressing Vic, he was basically saying that he wants to get in on this money that Victor's stumbling upon. So Vic meets up with Squid, and Vic just kind of throws him some money and is like, listen, they're not really looking for any more people, but I know this is your territory, so I'll throw you some money every week, or blah, blah, blah. Squid, he doesn't really, he's not really messing with that. He says, take me to your dude, like, and he's threatening Vic. And as they're like, Vic's like, all right, let's go. And, as they're walking, Vic kind of gets the jump on him, turns around and fucking pops Squid, shoots him, just like right in the neck. And that was fucking wild.
Didn't expect that, honestly.
Me either.
I
I
didn't.
expected at least like Oz to kill him. I was
Mhm.
surprised that Vic had done it. And I was talking to Chad. Vic's actor done a really fucking good job of like actually kind of executing how it would probably feel for someone who had never killed anybody to do something like that, because it wasn't something like in Joker where it was, kind of a big relief. You could tell that he regretted it in the moment.
And I think he even said, like, why'd you make me do that? And, it's kind of putting the blame on Squid instead of, the emotions that he's going through.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep, so he dips out on that. Goes back to Oz's base of operations. Oz just basically, sweeps his feelings to the side and is just like, all right, well, get home and it'll get easier. Like, basically saying, like, the next one he kills isn't going to be as bad, which is just wild. So, and then at the end, you get Vic in the house and in Crown Point, and then the power shoots back on, and you get you get Oz's mother and Vic. They start dancing because the power's finally back on and the music's going. And then as you pan back, you get Sophia's gun, and she found the apartment that Oz and Vic and Oz's mother are staying at. So that's how that ends and is going to lead into the next episode. So
I couldn't remember if it was this episode or the last one because I watched them back to back. But whenever Sophia went and, like, interrogated that one, lady that Oz is, like, fooling around with, like the girl.
yeah,
I liked that kind of interaction because they were, like, very civil and, she didn't kill her in the end, which I kind of found surprising. So,
it does like show kind of like with her being a female,
mhm.
it's like a certain level of humanity that you wouldn't get with like regular like Carmine Falcone or Maroney.
Mhm.
She knows how to talk to a woman and play into both what could be of interest to them. Because I mean, she told that lady that had been fooling around with Oz basically all the stuff that he was doing behind her back and stuff, and was able to get her to flip on Oz. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it was all relatively civil. I mean, to take out the gun in the equation, and
Yeah.
it was just ultimately a power play down to mind games. But I thought it was a good episode. I mean, again, honestly, not much in the way of story, but even for like a mediocre Penguin episode, which I wouldn't even call this one mediocre, they all hit. I mean, I feel like just about every Penguin episode has been really good.
I like how they're
I
kind of
really
setting
love.
up. Good.
Go ahead.
Other than that, I just like how they're setting up, like, the expansion of, like, the underground little base they're having, because you can see, like, from last week's episode to this new one, how it's kind of evolved, and there, more people down there working, and the, products getting moved faster and faster, and then the runs are getting more. So
Hmm.
you can see what they're trying to build, this little empire that he has underground too.
Yeah, and then he aligned himself with the other gangs
Yeah.
at the end, so
Yeah, his
that'd be
speech
really
there
cool.
was really good.
Hmm.
I
That
also
scene.
love the.
Good.
You're fine. You're fine.
I was just gonna say, that scene made me want to crack a beer open too, just to join in.
It was so good. Or crack open some liquid death. Yeah, no, that was a really good scene. And Avery, definitely, whenever you get a chance, we need to hear your thoughts on it because pretty good episode.
Episode 11.
Is
Yeah.
this episode? Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Oh okay, I was
Next
like, oh no,
episode.
did I fuck up the intro?
No, no,
Oh
no.
no.
Next episode, I'll bring it up,
And I mean,
and the next one
again,
probably.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fucking crazy next week's episode. So watching it back to back is really gonna be pretty sweet too. So, well, we can get into recent pickups, and when I mean recent pickups, I mean my pickups.
Your show.
My show and tell this week, and it's light. It's light, so.
Ooh, I see it. Ooh.
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 Got the high school Spawn
Fuck
that
yeah.
Bot had originally drawn up
Dude,
back in the day.
There's packaging. I love that packaging. It reminds me of like the old school Marvel Legends that they did back in the day with that whole plastic. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He looks really sweet. I haven't got the chance to bust him open yet. But I love the blue. And I was gonna get him whenever he was up for order on Walmart, but they had the picture up of like the Commando Spawn,
Mhm.
and I wasn't sure whether or not it actually was for this guy or not.
I've seen that too, because they got one up of like the Batman I have of Dick Grayson as Batman, but the title says Hugo Strange, and I'm just like, ew, that's kind of confusing. Like, so I don't know if that's their mistake or not.
That's why I didn't jump on it, but I got this one on Macari, and it was just like maybe a couple bucks above retail, and came in good condition and everything, so definitely can't beat that.
Dude.
And one other thing I've been looking forward to from cheap graphic novels.
Ooh.
Got the All-Star Batman.
Is that like the complete story of it?
So it's 14 issues, I believe. Yeah. So I mean, for All-Star Batman, I think that's all of them.
I think I read it. I'm pretty sure I have. I can't remember. That cover's badass though.
It is really, really sick. So I mean, Scott Snyder and like John Romita Jr. and a bunch of other people, but I figured it looked pretty cool, and it has like a cool summary on the back of like the different characters that show up.
Dude, anytime Scott Snyder gets his hands on Batman, the artwork is fucking amazing and the story is amazing. Like, he's one of my top favorite people to do with like a Batman anything.
Yeah, my buddy Logan, he's got a poster in his in one of his rooms, and that's like the OG Scott Snyder Batman. And he's like up on like a gargoyle, and I just love that Batman design. So
he makes it so nice. It's such a eye-pleasing art he does of him.
Really does. Like one of like kind of like the ideal Batman that comes to mind for me. So that was my show and tell.
Did you end up sending back the other one?
No, so I was telling them I have it in my living room. I just didn't want to get it out because I didn't want to get pissed off. Because spoilers, it was an SH Figure Arts Batman from like the Batman, and it was all like really good as far as like sculpt. It's just like some of the paint wasn't that great, and I swear to God, I may have been slightly inebriated, but whenever I was fucking with changing out the hands, that was one of the biggest struggles I've had as far as the way of like accessories for a figure. It was just very strange just how they have their figures kind of manufactured. So I'm gonna have to try it again, but I honestly did not feel like busting him out for this one. So stay tuned for episode 11.
I wish McFarlane would revamp their Batman line and actually put some effort into it. They've been putting effort into their new releases, like the stuff they've been releasing recently, wired capes and kind of better sculpts. They might do it for Batman 2, obviously, but like I would like them to revisit it.
They need to get away from the side eye.
Yeah, like side eye. Like I don't understand. I never understood that. They have the Morgan Freeman Lucius Fox just like looking up, and I'm just like, why? Why is he like that?
That's so awful. It's just like you're limiting everything.
Mm-hmm. I never understood. At least put like 2 head sculpts in there if you're gonna make them like side eye.
Hmm. Yeah, and that was the thing with the figure arts. I mean, the head sculpts are really good. It's just like the paint on the chest that actually has the bat emblem in it. There's like 3 or 4 like yellow splotches on it, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man?
Hmm.
I want to try and touch it up, see what I can do. And for the film we are covering this week, we are talking about The Evil Dead
Ooh.
from 1981. Yes,
Oh,
1981.
he's only gonna tease you, so you're at your horniest, and now he's gone.
Damn it. But yeah, I remember I watched this for the first time a couple years back. It was like probably like 2017, 2018, and I watched this one, The Evil Dead, and then Evil Dead 2 around the same time. And it's pretty wild how they done from the first Evil Dead to Evil Dead 2. I mean, as far as just how different they are and how similar they are. I mean, it was pretty wild. But
Like,
Evil Dead is definitely one of the most influential. Oh, what? Where did Michael go?
who the fuck? Yeah, he couldn't
I've had
breathe.
that
No.
thing on for almost 2 hours now, so I was
Evil Dead is definitely like one of the most like influential horror movies of the 80s. So I'm glad I at least worked that into this month's watches.
Yeah, like that film. I think my first experience with Ash was Army of Darkness when I was younger. Like that was my first entry to that whole universe, and then I went back. Because Army of Darkness has like that comedy type vibe to it, and then you go to Evil
Hmm.
Dead 1, and it's not entirely like that, and you're just like, as a kid, I thought it was just gonna be like comedic, and it was less, I guess, comedic from what I remember. So.
It's interesting how each of those films in a trilogy have such stark differences, because I feel like Army of Darkness is kind of like my least favorite, and it's not even a bad film. It's just how it went from like a straight up kind of like shock horror film, low budget, to like a kind of like horror comedy that's still violent as can be, to a like
Yeah,
fantasy comedy
that's what I was gonna
with
say.
horror aspects.
Like more fantasy than anything. And then yeah, I agree with that. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, it is like really cool though that Sam Raimi was able to have that vision
Hmm.
for each of the films, and with Ash and everything. But of course, everybody knows the plot to Evil Dead. You got 5 um, college students going to a cabin in the woods, and some shit starts popping off. I mean, I think that's what you did. You put in that in one of your reviews, Tyler, that just immediately shit started popping off, or was that in the
I
Discord?
sent that in the Discord. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
you just immediately know shit's like going on.
like literally within the first 2 minutes, what they're like on the road, and then they have to like swerve from the oncoming truck, and then they're crossing the bridge, and it's falling on them. I mean, it's like just instant fuckery.
Yes, and I mean they do a good job of like establishing the cabin whenever you're rolling up, because like after the bridge and stuff, they finally get to the cabin and they're exploring like the main rooms in the cabin, and then you get a glimpse of the cellar. You get a glimpse of the cellar, and then you get like the little outbuilding and everything like that. So they do a good job of like setting up, for such a small location that it is, setting everything up. So what really done it for me, as far as being like, if this happened, I'd probably flip out. You get Cheryl drawing that, big grandfather clock, and then just the I feel like all our episodes revolve around, like clocks ticking, and then it just stops, and and then she starts hearing some noises, and the hatch to the cellar starts shaking, and that just starts the Evil Dead trope that there's always got to be a damn cellar and something trying to get out of it. So either way, um, I think we get, I think his name's Scott and Ash, kind of exploring down in the cellar. They come across the Necronomicon, which is probably one of probably top 10 most iconic props in a horror film. I fucking love the design that they had done for the Necronomicon. I've always wanted to get like a replica of it because it's just so sick.
I love that it changes each movie too.
Hmm. In this movie, it has the face on it, does it not, or is it kind of like different?
It has the face. It's more like a. I don't really know how to describe the face because
It's
they're all
maybe more
jacked up.
subtle.
Yeah, I feel like it's more softer.
Yeah, because in the second one, I mean, it's just like a straight up fucking just a face was like sewn onto a book. And then you get a scene that Sam Raimi has kind of discussed that he regrets, and a scene that I feel like isn't really all that needed, but he was going for the shock, getting his movie talked about. You get Cheryl, she's in the woods. And a tree fucks her, and that's not the greatest, but it was the 80s, and he was trying to get a movie. He was trying to get his movie talked about.
I guess that's the best way. She gets fucked by a tree. I mean, what else do you want from me?
I
She
mean,
got some wood.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, got some major
but
wood.
but
Ooh. Ooh. Look at that. Production is just up there.
yeah, but no, I mean that scene. It's not needed whatsoever. And I know the actress has said that she regrets it, but
Even in
Mm.
like the reboot, I feel like that one, the 2013 one, that one like makes me very uncomfortable. Like that one made
Mhm.
me super cringe when I watched it when I was younger, and still like embedded itself in my fucking brain. So
And that one, I mean, was just like kind of like through the mouth and stuff, wasn't it? I mean, like they could have even done that.
they're I can't remember like vividly, but I remember like I know one was it was wrapping around her leg going up, and it looked thorny, and I was just like, ugh, like oh
But it
no.
didn't like outright. Like I feel like he could have done it more tastefully. I mean, again, hindsight's 2020.
Mm.
I mean, and he's talked about how he's regretted that, and like Tyler said, actress and stuff. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, looking back, yeah, it's definitely not something that's the best. But I mean,
but the movie
it's definitely a scene.
yeah.
Definitely one of those things you talk about in this film. So, and so that leads into her running back to the house. You can tell she got that demon in her now, and and and
Demon semen.
Ooh, got that demon semen.
But tis.
Mm, got that splinter.
and and then and then speaking of tips, you get, I can't even remember. I think it was Cheryl. This is one of my favorite, I think it is my favorite moment in the film, is whenever she's like starting to fucking go crazy, and she grabs the pencil and stabs it into Linda's ankle, and her just moving it around. It looks so convincing even today. That is, as I put in one of my older Letterbox reviews for it. Follow us on Letterbox. All time ankle stabbing with a pencil scene. I mean, all time, top tier. And bro, whenever she pulled it out, that pencil was shorter, so she broke. There's a tip of the pencil in her ankle. That would suck so bad. And I was talking even before we started recording. I feel like what they really had nailed, and they probably, it's not the ideal design that they were going to be going for because it was ever changing in the other films, but the Deadite design in this first film just so fucking gnarly and just holds up really good. I mean, they look fucking nasty,
Mm.
and like in the dismemberments and whenever they're like spewing shit up and burning and everything, it is just grotesque as all hell. So, I mean, even the effects for a film that's almost or is 40 years old, that's crazy. I mean, you get more convincing effects out of that, on a crazy low budget than you can get out of a lot of like Hollywood nowadays. So, um, another part that I always liked is whenever Linda started to turn evil. Whenever Ash lifts up the blanket, whenever she's laying in bed, and you get the shot of her ankle, and then it's just like it starts spreading all around her leg, and then she turns. I mean, a lot of like really inventive stuff that they did for such a low budget.
But I love that this movie it established all the kind of stereotypes of like the cabin in the woods, type of film. I mean, you can pretty much trace it all back to this.
Exactly, and just for anything in the Evil Dead franchise, I mean, it was established in this film. I mean, you get the Necronomicon, you get the dismembering is the only way to kill them. I mean, just really inventive stuff, and you could totally see a young group of filmmakers, just piling ideas on top of ideas and making a fucking badass film like this, and it ends up becoming the backbone for 80s into 90s horror franchise that even today, I mean, with the Fede Alvarez Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise, and of course Ash
Mm.
versus Evil Dead, a slight evil what is that, Evil Dead Rise jab right there? Is that what am I sensing? Dude,
Yeah,
am I
that's
sensing Tyler
a
not
little,
liking a
a
movie?
little bit of distaste.
You suck. And for one of my last notes, and it's fitting that Avery, you're drinking. I love whenever Ash is pouring the water on a Scott, and you could tell he's just clearly fucking dead. He's just like, and he's just pouring the water on his face, and he's like, we're gonna get out of here, and like in fucking water. He's like fucking basically waterboarding him.
But some of that like unintentional comedy that I feel like in the second movie is turned up to 100.
Yeah, they just like definitely lean into.
I can't even really remember Evil Dead 2, to be honest with you. Like, it's been such a long time that
Wow.
it's very, very, uh, I don't know, loose in my brain. I just can't remember it. I saw like a clip not even that long ago, this week on TikTok on Evil Dead 2, and I was like, I don't even remember that. I really don't. So I'm gonna have to rewatch that after rewatching this one.
Yeah, I still, I mean, I gave the film 4 stars. I still feel like I'm always going to be an Evil Dead 2 guy over the first Evil Dead, but there's a lot to love with this, and it's perfect for like a October, fall evening. Just throw it on. What did you all? What did you all give it?
I think I gave it a 4. I can't exactly remember. For a first time watch, I really did enjoy it, and like I've seen the Evil Dead franchise before. Like I've watched Evil Dead Rise, Tyler's favorite movie, and
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ash vs Evil Dead. I watched like 2 seasons of it, so I kind of knew some of the stuff, but it was very good.
His taste for the show, my
So,
brother.
so I can't remember what like the feelings are that Tyler has for Rise. It's been a minute since I've talked to him about Rise. Probably since I like watched it initially in theaters. What was your rating on that?
I think I gave it a 3.
Okay. Okay.
Like it's solid, but I definitely feel like it was blown out of proportion, at least in my opinion.
I mean, I can understand that. I have some like opinions on it, like especially like how loud everything was during that whole movie, and then that woman like wakes up, you know, or whatever happened at the end where she's just like chilling out like the rest of her day. That was the only thing where I was like, what the fuck, you know? But
Like, I'm happy that it like did really well in theaters, obviously, because it's more Evil Dead content,
mhm.
and it was originally going to go to streaming, and then it didn't. So I mean, it's great for it. I think it's good. It was just the I don't know. I feel like it was made out to be the goriest too by a lot of people's reviews, and I'm still like, the remake,
The remake is
that
fucked up.
that one, like, if I were to rank the movies, I go original to remake are all like, you know,
Mhm.
grouped together, and then we go Rise, and then we go Army of Darkness, and put the show in between Rise and uh the remake.
Like
Hmm.
it had some good jump scares. Dude, like when I was younger, when I first watched Evil Dead, like the remake, that one honestly freaked me out a good bit. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it was pretty gory and freaky, especially with like the Deadites. And like I like the vine thing. I remember right off the bat, and like the syringe in the guy's eye made me cringe so fucking
Mm-hmm.
hard when I first watched that. So
The bat,
The razor blade on the tongue.
that and what was it, Tyler?
the whole bathroom scene,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
yeah. Like that would be a fun movie for us all to watch because I don't know if Chad, have you watched Reboot?
Nope.
Fucking ride it right there, man. Like that one's gnarly. So that would be an
and
interesting one.
the
Mhm.
remake, in my opinion, the characters, like their motive for staying at the cabin, makes way more sense in the remake. Like the remake is very intelligent.
It makes more sense, honestly, than any
The
than any
original,
Evil Dead. I mean,
the
just
original,
any. I mean, honestly, yeah.
yeah, the original, they just go out to party, have a good weekend. Then she's like, "I was attacked by the trees," and they're like, "LOL, okay." In the
Yeah,
re,
she just like was so incredibly vague about what happened. She wasn't like, "Hey, a branch just got shoved up into my
Oh,
pussy."
clip,
She
clip.
she didn't say that. She was just like, "I was attacked."
What?
Not like I just got fucking diddled by a branch by Groot.
well, Laura
What the
actually did
fuck?
anything for her.
What was the? How did they What was it for Rise stumbling upon the book?
It's in the basement of the apartment building or something like that.
It was like built over like a
Was it a vault?
site, maybe. And there
Something
was
I
like
think.
audio. There was audio tapes.
Yeah, it was like a record or a tape or something.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that. I knew it was something like underground.
I don't know
I
why.
just
I want to say
hoping
it was an old bank vault or something,
I
and
feel
then
it's
like
just
kind of
might be.
it's like the motive in the remake is just so nice because it's, they go there to try to celebrate her rehab
Hmm.
of her getting clean, and then obviously, well, then the tree events happen to her, and they're just like, yeah, she's probably just like skitzing over that. Let's not try to let that ruin the experience. And like, it makes so much more sense than just,
Damn. Yeah.
yeah.
But a dog dies in that one.
Mm.
Yeah, fuck
I'm a
that
cat,
movie.
Oh.
Zero.
so
Oh. Womp womp.
nah, understandable though. But the remake has the whole shower of blood.
It does. Yeah.
Yes, that is a
Yeah.
great. I watched the remake for the first time, I believe, last year.
Damn.
Yeah,
Um,
and that chick that's in it, that main chick, she is the main chick in Don't Breathe, and that's Fede Alvarez as well too. So
hmm.
I wish she was in more stuff. She's a very good actress.
I know they were going to originally do some kind of crossover with the remake and Bruce Campbell before they did the show.
because you get
And
the
then,
little cameo,
See,
yeah,
little excerpt.
like, it feels like with Bruce, like I love him. Like with Bruce Campbell nowadays, it seems like they go for like the more comedic type of Evil Dead with him now. Like with the TV show was more, you know, comedic, and then they had. I don't really remember a lot of Evil Dead 2. Like I said, I'm going to have to rewatch it. But Army of Darkness was very comedic, and then Army of Darkness 2 was. So like, I wonder if they're going to go back to like, have the comedy. Aren't they doing like some animated type thing? If they're going to keep that momentum of like keeping it comedic and then having like Rise and whatever they're doing after as more serious toned and gory.
I hope so, because that was one of the reasons why I didn't like Ash versus Evil Dead was just because it was just too much for
it
me
is.
as far as the comedy.
It is a lot of over the top, just one liners. But
Hmm.
when you know what you're getting into with the show,
Oh yeah.
yeah, then it's cool.
Hmm. But I mean, I feel like Evil Dead 2 does a good job, and it would make sense from the first Evil Dead being the gory horror film that it is, early 80s. You get Evil Dead 2, which was like late 80s, and you kind of get still the horror and the violence, and you get some comedy along with it. And then you get into Army of Darkness, which is just, totally balls to the wall comedy, like dark fantasy. And I don't know, it's just interesting because again, you just get those different layers all from one director. I mean, it's really surprising that they didn't try and have anybody else make an Evil Dead, back in the day, like something really shitty. I mean, this franchise is probably one of, if not, arguably top five most consistent horror franchises because I feel like none of them are bad.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone's rankings always are different. Like you'll see some
Hmm.
people that'll be like, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, original.
And I
Because
feel like there's arguments to be made for each of them. I mean, like Army of Darkness has so many good, so many good lines.
I mean, honestly, when I think of Ash as a character, I think of how he is portrayed in Army of Darkness,
Yeah,
especially over like the original movie where he's just a dude.
literally.
But
Yeah, just a dude.
it's how like they portray him in a lot of merchandise too. Is like you have him on that like Army of Darkness type of like almost like how Luke looks when he had that lightsaber for like the longest time. That artwork where he's like holding his lightsaber up. You see Bruce with the chainsaw on his hand, ripped up blue shirt and whatnot. Like that's a lot of nowadays. Well, kind of back then too, how you saw him and remembered him as. That's how I remembered him as. But now you see like Ash as like the older Ash, like the video game now is just like fully buttoned up blue shirt, chainsaw hand and stuff. So it's kind of morphed into a older version now. But
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as far as live action, and I think Bruce Campbell stated, I mean, he would only want to do it, if it was animated. But yeah, we've probably moved on from Ash in live action media. I mean, just get a roll on with if they can make like a new character that's it's pretty cool. I mean, the chick in the remake was pretty sick. Uh, no one in
Dead
Rise was honestly that crazy good. I mean, the woman that
Mom.
was like the mom, Deadite. Yeah, I mean, she was good, but she's a Deadite. But
they had the whole chainsaw thing at the end.
hmm I don't know. I feel like sometimes studios try, especially nowadays, they try to overcompensate with, of what they cast and who they cast. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you don't have to think that hard into an Evil Dead protagonist, but I feel like sometimes, that can be the case for a lot of franchises. They can overthink a protagonist,
Hmm.
trying to reinvent the wheel. Do we want to get into news?
If y'all want to.
I think the only news that I could remember, and actually seemed pretty interesting to me, was that they are doing a Outlast film
That's gonna be
with
cool.
Lionsgate. Yeah, which is going to be really cool. I love the first
Yeah,
Outlast.
the first Outlast and their DLC for that Whistleblower was like one of my top favorite horror games for the longest time.
Yeah, Outlast. It's been kind of, the franchise has been kind of like, chilling for a while. So I'm surprised it took this long for a film to be announced. But
Hmm.
I know the new game came out and everyone kind of seemed to like it, but I haven't played it much. Like
are you
Last Trials.
talking Trials? Okay, yeah, that's like a
Yeah,
multiplayer one, is it not?
yeah, but it's not like there's no like person controlling the monster. Like it's still like
Yeah,
stuff like that. So it
that'd be
seemed
cool to
interesting
try.
and funny moments and stuff. So
That'd be cool to try because I saw where people had played Outlast 2, and personally, I thought it didn't. I don't know. It looked cool, but I didn't. I just liked the setting of the first Outlast and how you're all contained. And Outlast 2, you are like spread out.
mhm.
So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't
But
play it. I've seen a lot of gameplay about it. It's like more of like a hick type uh atmosphere, or well, more, I should
exactly.
say like a cultish type thing with a church. I
Yeah,
think
like
it
a
was.
village and stuff.
Yeah,
It almost seemed more Resident Evil, at least in
yeah,
that sort of universe, but it didn't really seem too good
yeah.
to me as far as where it could have been.
It didn't draw me in that much. Like from what I seen, it just kind of it. I think the first one in that kind of scenery was probably the best what they could do. But Trials, I'm not gonna lie, looks more like back to the roots of Outlast one, from the gameplay and the characters I've seen. So I know it's multiplayer, but it might be something cool to check out if it's not dead by now.
That'd be interesting, yeah. And today you dropped you sent us the drop of the Marvel trailers.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, if they're gonna take this down or not release it, I guess we should like hop on that really quick.
Avery
I
leaked
need
it
to check it out.
himself.
The
You did or did not?
I didn't.
oh, okay.
Okay. It wasn't too much, honestly.
It's quick.
You get like you get glimpses of Ironheart, Daredevil.
The
Uh
Ironheart clips made me a little bit more interested in it. I will not lie. It made me just a little bit more interested in what, like, I have zero interest in the show at all because I'm not really too familiar with the character, but that doesn't stop me from watching it. I've read a little bit of comics of her. It seems pretty different, but those few scenes that I've seen looks interesting. And then the Spider-Man show, I'm not the biggest fan of the animation, but I'll probably still check that out.
I thought the animation looks kind of cool for it. And it's gonna be like super like high school Peter Parker, so
Hmm.
be interesting to see where they can go with that. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna keep it like pretty, mellow
Hmm.
as far as like his crime fighting or what.
I don't know. From the concept art, there shows like a wide variety of characters. So I mean, since it's not canon, they can just fucking go for it. And they're bringing back what if season 3, and then they're gonna have Marvel Zombies. The Marvel Zombies comics are pretty gnarly and pretty cool. So I don't know how they're gonna do the TV show animation for it. It's the same animation for What If, but it's just like their own thing. Marvel Zombies.
Which I must say, I do really like the animation for a lot of the what ifs. Like the one they did on like the Marvel Zombies was
Mhm.
really really cool.
I don't remember if I
And
watched the second season.
I didn't.
Honest.
I
I
don't
need
think I
to.
did. And I don't even think I watched all the episodes of the first season.
The
To be
first
honest.
first season was all right. I just think I got lost in like other shows when season 2 came out, so I just never got to it. Just like Star Wars Visions, I never got to it because there was just so many other things coming out that was like my last thing I was planning to watch, and then just completely forgot about it.
Nice.
Um, but Daredevil looks pretty cool. I mean, like there's so much like Daredevil content within the TV shows that I'm like so lost a little bit and kind of forgetting some stuff, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna watch it. Since it's reborn, hopefully you don't really need to know a lot to jump right back into it.
Yeah, and you're getting John Bernthal as the Punisher back, so
You
that's really sweet.
you can't find anyone like more perfect than that guy. He is the Punisher, Frank Castle.
hmm So hopefully that leads into them, hopefully getting some films and stuff. A lot of the Marvel shows, in my opinion, a lot of them are hit or miss. So I think it'd be cool if they could do like a street level kind of superheroes where it's they can do like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher. If they could throw like Moon Knight and some other people into it, that'd be really cool.
They could bring back Luke Cage.
hmm
Flesh
Yeah.
out a lot of heroes in New York, because like you could do, Spider-Man, you've got Kate Bishop, you've got Doctor Strange, so like they could throw a random team together if they wanted to and just kind of mix and match a little team.
I feel like nowadays they're so worried if the story is gonna work. Like in the broader sense of like the story of like the multiverse, they're so worried if like they flop something that it's not gonna make sense in the storyline or the bigger storyline. But like if they would just make like one-off, fights with villains, that's not so big that it has no effect on the bigger story. I feel like that's like the safer way to go. Instead of doing a Blade movie, do a Blade TV show. I mean, you can still have that type of rating, whatever rating you want, like the Punisher or Daredevil, since they got the higher rating for like the blood and stuff.
Mhm.
Just do that. Well, I mean, we probably, since they scrapped that, it seems they're gonna probably bring back Wesley Snipes. I imagine, but I don't know.
Hey, Mahershala Ali, Martian Manhunter. That's right there, dog.
That would be pretty cool. That would.
I don't know if there's been anything in the way of DC news coming out, but
I'll say, I know, back to Marvel real quick. There was like a post that Ryan Reynolds put up, and it was him back in the Deadpool costume, and it was like a Christmas scene kind of behind him. So there might be a Christmas special maybe coming out. I don't know, probably not this year, but maybe next year. So
He's just gonna dog on Star Wars the whole time.
yeah.
yeah, I saw that as well. So that could be something.
The only thing of DC is just like them revealing crypto, but we posted that on our TikTok. If you haven't followed that, go follow that. Subscribe also. I know we've been.
Be a fifth viewer.
Yeah, you could be the fifth, since some are like dead in the water and some go like plummeting up, or skyrocketing. We do post on there. Clips have been dropped between just me and Brandon. I think everybody's just been busy this week and preparing, so it's stressful week for everybody probably. So
I sent a photo of it in the group chat. I got an ingrown toenail removed today, so that was fun.
doesn't sound fun at all. Scrumptious.
You need to look at the picture. I was thinking of embalming it and then like putting it in like a ceramic coating and like wearing it around my neck because it fucking hurts so bad. I've been keeping Tyler updated on it for like 2 or 3 weeks now. Oh
fuck.
Well, anything else we have not hit on?
I think of some news. I swear there was something else.
There's nothing I can think of.
I don't think there was anything. I know the VHS for Romulus. I saw that old note about that. I think that went
Yeah.
pre-order.
And that's another thing I saw, Late Night with the Devil. That's getting a VHS, and it's a glow in the dark. That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Is it glow in the dark or?
Yeah, like the casing is glow in the dark, like the actual like cartridge, the VHS cartridge.
Oh, that's sick.
That would be a great movie for us to talk about on a podcast. That's a really good movie. That's a really good one. Have you watched it, Tyler?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know Chad hasn't, because
Yeah,
Chad.
no.
That was good. But that's a really good movie. I mean, it's not like super scary. It's more like mind bending in a way. But
Where does that rank for me this year? Because I got it pretty damn high.
It's a really solid one.
You know what? Since we're here, top 5 for this year so far, I got Furiosa at 5. I got War of the Planet of the Apes, or not War, Jesus Christ, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at 4. I got Late Night with the Devil at 3. Got Long Legs at 2, and I got Dune Part 2 at 1.
Pretty solid.
Are we counting TV? Brendan, do you put like TV miniseries in your?
Um, every now and then. I haven't put any in the 2024 list yet, but what do you got?
Let's ignore my number one because it's not a movie. So my top 5 would be number 5, Late Night with the Devil.
Mhm.
4, Lisa Frankenstein. 3, Terrifier 3. 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. And 1, The First Omen.
First
Oh,
Omen.
nice.
And then X-Men 97 is technically number 1, but we're not going to count that.
There was, since you said Terrifier, there was that. It's been like just going around on the internet where they're like Terrifier 4 in space, and it's like that picture of him in space floating, and then how the director retweeted it and stuff. I thought that was funny, which I would not say no to that type of movie because I feel like that would be kind of funny and cool. But yeah.
It's so absurd. I mean, I feel like they can take it to that, but I mean, after that, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, maybe that can be like the final scene. It's like, they go through the fucking core of hell and they end up in space or something, and then that's like Terrifier 5, the final chapter. It's like them in fucking space.
I'd watch the hell out of
Okay.
Sienna's going to get like an astronaut angel costume.
Literally, yeah.
Dude,
He's gonna be this day and age's Ellen Ripley.
Terrifier, man. He's just something else.
All right.
Well,
this might be the shortest episode to date.
yeah.
Throw in a segment if I rant about Romulus.
Ooh.
Since I finally watched it.
Ooh.
You finally watched it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Is it a
I guess
bad
I'll
rant?
Letterbox.
Not a bad rant. I guess my opinions on it were kind of similar to like what we were saying with Evil Dead Rise. In the way that I feel like with this movie it kind of felt like inspired by a lot of other entries in the franchise. But I'm still glad that it did really well. But the birthing scene,
Do you not like it?
I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like what I was seeing. But I appreciated it because it made me go, oh. And I thought that the first Omen birth scene with the coming out was bad.
That fucking John ass fucking egg, dude. I swear to God. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I forget, Chad, have you watched it?
No,
Okay.
It's
Well,
a good.
I don't care. Go ahead.
The acid kill,
Oh yeah,
that was cool.
yeah. I really like that one.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the movie is like it, and
Oh, well, we gotta do is we gotta go to the fly ship, and then we gotta go, and then we gotta go to the port, and then after that we gotta go toward the hatch, and then after that we gotta go, and then that guy. I did need some subtitles in the theaters.
I liked it for what it was doing. I liked how fresh it felt, even though it had like pulls from other movies. And seeing how my favorite part kind of was how that the alien was like how should I say it? It's like forming after it popped out of the chest and it was forming, and then you see it on the wall, and it looked like a big vagina right there, just slapped on the fucking wall. And he sticks the stun gun in there, and it later on is affecting the alien where it has like this electricity to it. I wanted more depth to that instead of just like kind of like a little thing every time just to you recognize that alien. I thought it'd be cool if it had like electric abilities because there is like a wide variety of different type of aliens in the comics. Like you have the Arctic type because they evolve. Um, I thought that was pretty cool that he like stunted its growth, and it had that, and I thought that was just a really cool one, even though it was a big vag on the side of a wall. But
Did you love Andy?
Mm-hmm.
dude,
So wholesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's a really good character in my opinion.
What did you think of the likeness of Ian Holm whenever they had where they had the dude where it was the like the OG like synthetic. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely like threw me like when I see him pop up. I mean, I didn't know what character was digitally put in, but I knew that there was one. I
Okay.
mean, I didn't think that it looked horrible, but I mean, obviously, like I can tell because I know what
Yeah.
like, so
Well, there's some people that blow shit out of like proportion. There's like some people that don't, that like just totally write off like Late Night with the Devil because there's like maybe like 5 seconds of like, which I don't like this, but 5 seconds of like AI generated like screen caps and stuff, and I don't like that, but that's a great movie.
Late Night with the Devil, that was just like what the logos that pop up.
It was just those like little like "we'll be right back," which they could have got an artist to do that, but that is like 5 seconds of like a 98-minute movie, and it's like why just totally shit on the entire movie for something like that. And I mean they got approval from like Ian Holmes' family and stuff to use his likeness, so I mean like I can get over it.
It was the only thing that made me like not like how it looked. Like I liked the performance and all of it, but there was times it reminded me of like a Snapchat filter where it was just like his mouth when it would open, it would just kind of like look like a slope. It would look like just a solid slope when he opened his mouth. And that was the part that kind of like threw me off when it was on him because I've seen better, and it doesn't take away from the story or anything like that. It just kind of just like it doesn't look like there's any depth. It just looks like it just slopes down to his lip, and that's about it for me.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Did you
Anything
like
else?
did you like the ending? Like not the like getting on the ship, but like the birthing and all of it. Well, this is the end of that podcast. It's shit.
Like, did I like watching it? The birth?
No, like the abomination.
Oh, I
The,
mean,
the big like humanoid thing.
yeah. It was giving me vibes of what they tried to do in Resurrection, but better.
Yeah,
With
Yeah.
having like a human hybrid-esque looking xenomorph.
dude, I felt horrible for the kid inside because how many falls she took, and like it just like she would slam down like 2 stories while she's trying to get away from the alien, and I'm like, that baby is fucking scrambled in there. And then she takes the serum, and I'm like, now you really fucked up because it showed the rat like coming back together and then
Mm-hmm.
evolving. So I'm like, that's definitely what's happening in your stomach right now. So
Oh, and I think that thing sucked on her titty too.
yeah, that threw me off where it like had the thing come out its mouth. But I guess like you're getting its nutrients from its mother, so I don't fucking I don't know. But it was pretty freaky. And I wish NECA would stop releasing like 2 things from a movie and then just moving on. Like you should have done the alien and you had the accessory pack, and then you should have done like some of the characters at least.
Done Andy and
Yeah,
the main chick.
they've done it before for the older, like the original trilogy of having a lot of characters. I just like I don't just want the alien if I'm gonna, if I really like the movie, I'd like Andy but I don't know. Maybe they didn't think they'd sell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have for the original Alien, I have Big Chap and Kane, the one that stumbles upon the
Mhm.
what's it, the eggplant looking sack thing that the face huggers pop out of.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember.
Odd,
Yeah,
something like I have them two together, but I know they did like the entire cast
yeah.
of
They
the original movie.
they do the single packs. I think they're harder to find now, but they've been like releasing some of them. I have Alien, but I don't think it's Big Chap. It might just be from Aliens. It has like the pod and it has a face hugger. I think that's all that came with it.
That's what Big Chap comes with.
Maybe I got him. I don't know. I'd like to collect more of them, but I just never see them out when I'm like shopping and stuff.
Ash is still at my Walmart.
Oh, really? I don't
Mhm.
mind. Cross Lanes doesn't really have a lot in their entertainment section for like stuff like that. It's just Funkos. They have a lot of Funkos, but they don't have a lot of NECA stuff. Yes, sir. But I mean, if that's all of it for us, might be it definitely will be like the shortest podcast, and that's the people watching definitely my fault this time. I got like an hour late more because it's 10:26. So, but this is a Halloween oriented episode. And maybe the next one will be a little bit longer because next time I'll actually be on time and watch and watch everything that needed to be because I didn't watch anything this time. So it's my bad on that. But what can I say? What can I say? What can I say?
I think single-handedly for the sound effects and seeing Tyler in the mask. No, top 5 episode.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
we're gonna. I mean, we're improving each time that you see us. Oh. So yeah, I mean.
You got slips popping through that mask.
Oh. Oh.
It's won me a candle, so I'm getting as much mileage out of it as I can.
It's a pretty dope mask. Nacho Libre is like so underrated.
It really is. It's unironically really fucking good.
Really is. It
But
never
kind
gets
of
talked about.
dumb, but it's good.
Yeah, it's a dumb in a good way, just like the Zohan with Adam Sandler, your favorite actor of all time. Johan. Can't remember. Okay, fuck me. You'll find a new person for this podcast after this, and I'll be gone. Fuck.
You did not just mention don't mess with the Zoan.
Hey, the only
Oh
thing I
my
can remember
god.
is his big bulge in that movie.
Yeah, his big bulge and his fucking Daisy Dukes. Fuck you, Adam Sandler. Actually, just
There we
fuck.
go. There's another clip right there. We're gonna show you his big
Yeah.
bulge.
Yeah, his big bulge and his stupid haircut and his dumb accent. Dumb movie. Fuck you.
Fuck. Fucking
Well, either way you look at it, might be the best, might be the worst episode, but
hell yeah.
An episode nonetheless.
Yep.
an episode nonetheless.
Episode 10. I mean, you got 10 out of us. That's crazy. We were going to do this every 2 weeks, and now we're doing it weekly. So, like, you're getting good content if you watch. So, subscribe for one, share. And we're
Mm-hmm.
on most all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Letterbox, Twitter, all of it. We don't use Twitter as much because it's just like I suck at it, so I just post like random stuff sometimes. So
Like everyone's leaving Twitter right now. They're all jumping to that new like blue something.
I haven't heard of it.
I know a lot of like people that I follow on like YouTube and stuff like that are jumping ship. So
Hmm.
I can't remember what it's called.
Also, the last time this is like an update to y'all and to any viewers that the next one we probably can live stream if you guys are interested in that. So you can catch us live, comment in the chat, and give us things to talk about and ask us questions. I requested us to be able to go live like fucking a week ago or more, a couple episodes ago, and it gave me a 24-hour like timer thing to get it approved. They're like, oh, we're gonna put it under review for 24 hours, and then you should be able to. So if we can next time, we can go live and record at the same time, and you guys can, if anybody wants to, hop in because it shows on YouTube like we're premiering if we go live. So
Be neat.
might be a possibility to test drive it a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah.
I'll strip too if anybody asks.
Yeah, we'll put donations up. So.
Hmm.
Oh. Tyler was halfway there. That it was gonna be his overalls and then his shirt.
I was down before we recorded.
Yeah, he was. I still, for whatever reason, can't hear the custom sounds.
See, I heard that one. I don't know if they heard it or not.
I heard
didn't hear
the Pornhub.
the hub.
Yep.
Yes. Are we allowed to say that? Hub? The
The
hub?
hub.
But I heard the
Pornhub.
goddamn.
Yeah, I heard that
the
one.
goddamn.
Maybe where Avery joined later after I put him in.
Yeah. I'll just keep doing this.
Well, that'd be episode 10.
It's gonna be one of the most, for your own interpretation, best or worst.
I like it. It adds some.